The patch tool. Now this tool lets you repair a selected area of your image with pixels from another area or a pattern. Now, like the healing brush tool, the patch tool matches the texture, lighting and shading of the sampled pixels to the source pixels. This tool is different though from the other two healing tools in as much as it's not a brush but more of a selection tool. So now we know what it is, let's see how it works. My name's Ken Fisher and this is LiveLink Training. In this video we're going to be exploring the patch tool. Now don't forget, if you're a fan of the printed page, there is a free ebook to accompany the video. Just click on the link in the More section under the video to download it. Okay, so let's dig in. Okay, the patch tool, it's here and it's hidden underneath the spot healing brush tool. It's in this healing section here, and I'm just going to select the patch tool. Now the patch tool lets you repair selected areas with pixels from another area, just like the healing brush and the spot healing brush does. And it matches the texture, lighting and shading of the sampled pixels to the source pixels. Now in repairing with this tool, it is best to keep it as small as you can. Don't go mad doing massive areas, but it does work on areas bigger than would be problematic with like the healing brush or the spot healing brush. Now let's just have a quick look up here at the tool options bar. First off, we've got the presets. We've not got any presets set for this tool at the moment. And then we've got the selection. So we can either just do one selection, or we can add to selection, we can subtract from selection, or we can use intersect from selection. And this is all being able to define the actual area that you want to repair. Now in patch, we've got a couple of options. We've got content aware and normal. Content aware is the most intelligent way, so I would normally default to content aware. Now structure, you enter a value between 1 and 7, and this specifies how closely the patch should reflect existing image patterns. So if you enter a 7 for instance, the patch adheres very strongly to existing image pattern, where you're getting the information from. If you enter 1, the patch adheres very loosely to the existing image patterns. Now colour, we enter a value between 0 and 10, and this specifies the extent to which you want Photoshop to apply algorithmic colour blending. That's a good one, isn't it? To the patch. If you enter a 0, colour blending is disabled, and a colour value of 10 applies maximum colour blending. And then we've got sample all layers, which we want to do because in this case we want to work non-destructively, which is always, I think, the best way to work. Now we're on a background layer, so first thing I'm going to do is go and double click the padlock to unlock that layer, and then you'll see sample all layers comes live. So the next step is to put another layer on. So I'm going to do that by clicking on the new layer icon down at the bottom here. But if I hold the Alt key down, just a little keyboard shortcut, and click on that little icon, it brings up a little dialog to let me rename it. So here I'll call it Retouch, and then I'll click OK. So now I've got my Retouch layer live, and I do that by clicking on it. So now layer note's live, now the Retouch layer is live. So anything I do now will go onto the Retouch layer, so it won't overwrite anything on the original layer, which is fandabby-dozy. Ooh, am I really that old? Anyway, okay, let's forget about the crankies. Right, so let's see how the tool works. Okay, so I've got it selected. I've got an image here that's got a couple of areas that we could use some help with. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit with Control and Plus, and then I'll use spacebar drag. So I'll press the spacebar to get the hand tool, and then drag to get myself in a position where I think I need to be. That's it. Now this is a classic example that is pretty good for the patch tool, so I'm going to draw around it. Now you don't have to be really accurate, but I'm going round as close as I can here, and then I'm going to go inside and click and drag, and then I can move around. You can see I've got a little preview in there. When I move around I get a little preview, so obviously I don't want to be putting the lips up there, but you can move around to a place where you think looks pretty good, and then you let go. and those pixels will be healed with the pixels that's there. Now we'll just have a quick look if the structure works. So if I wanted it to work really strictly, then I could put 7 in, and if we just watch, see if that makes any difference. A tiny bit, but not a lot. And if I want to, do I want the colour to be defined from the source or the destination pixels? Well, that's a little bit. Let me just put it back, see if that makes much difference. I think it actually looks a little bit better with no colour blending. And then it's just a case of you get quicker. So I'll just go around, click and drag around this area here, click and drag, and very quickly you can clean up some probably bigger areas than would be possible or practical with the healing brush or the other tools. Ooh, got a little bit of an area there. We'll just drag that out. So it's just a case of, if it doesn't do a good job, you can use Control and Z to go back a step, or you can just go over and reheal it. So if an area doesn't work out, just get rid of that, then you can just go back and reheal over it again. Got a little bit of a line going on there, so I'll get rid of that. And Control and D for deselect the selection. Control and minus a few times to bring us out. You can see now we'll do a before and after. Yeah, I think that's going in a really good direction. So let's have a look at another type of repair we can do. I'll click on this one, and here I've got an image that I took in Norway last year. And I quite like the image. It's got plenty of detail in it, but it's got this big crane, and I'd like to get rid of it. So what I'm going to do is try and use the patch tool. Now again, non-destructively, so I'm going to go down, Alt key, create a new layer, and then I'll call this again the retouch. And I'll click OK. And now let's have a look at getting rid of this crane. So again, I'm going to draw around it fairly loosely. I'll take a little bit of the ground as well, and I'll go around this way and back to the beginning. So I've now defined my selection, so I'm going to now move that selection to a destination. What I'll do is I'll just try and find a little piece of that mountain top that matches, so somewhere like that, and we'll see how that works. So now I'm going to release, and that's done a pretty good job. Okay, we've got a little bit of my crane left, so I'm going to deselect that, and then I'll zoom in. So yeah, I have got a little bit of that crane left. So let's see what we can do with that. So now I've got the patch tool again, and look, I've got a couple of little bit of repeating patterns. So what I'm going to do is I'll just click and drag a couple of them out, just so your attention's not drawn necessarily to that. Something like that. Okay, now let's deal with the bottom end of the crane. So I'll go and try and grab around something like that, and I'll drag it, and let's go to the top of this mountain here, somewhere like that, where I've got some similar pixels, and I'll let go. Oh, actually, that's not bad. It looks like there's a little bit of snow on it now. So I can, at times, if you want to just hide that selection rather than deselect it, then if you press Control or Command if you're on a Mac and the H key, that will hide the selection. Actually, I think that's a pretty good repair. Okay, but don't forget to unhide it again, because it's still there, but it's just hidden. So I'm going to press Control and H again to bring it back, and then Control and D to deselect it. Now I think that's pretty good. Now you can see the problem I've got here now. I've got a reflection for the crane that I've now got no crane. So I've got to deal with that. Well, let's give it a go. We'll try the patch tool again. We'll go around this big lump here, and I'll just drag it over, but I'll try and drag it over to miss that selection piece there. Try and line up a few of these and let go. And I'll hide it. Control and H for hiding. Well, I don't think that's bad actually. Okay, we've still got a little bit at the top, so I'll Control and H again to get that back, and Control and D. I'm happy with that as a patch. And we'll just go around and we'll see this looks like the top of the crane, so I'll just try and replace that with some similar pixels. I'll hide that. Control and D. Yeah. And to be honest, I'm pretty cool with that. Yeah, there's probably a couple of little areas of repeating patterns, so I'd probably just go around them, and where there's any edge pixels that I think I've seen, and then I'll zoom out. And I think that is pretty good. I'm well impressed with that. And you can see the before and after. I'll just go and turn my retouch layer on and off, so I can go off and on and off and on. And you can see that that's a pretty good job, and it's all non-destructive. It's here on this layer. I can keep the layer. I can save this out as an archive to come back if I want to do anything else, or if I've made a mistake I can come and drag it in the bin. But I've not made any changes to my actual background layer itself. Okay, lastly but not leastly, let's have a look at a bit bigger distraction and see if we can do something about that. Here we've got another one of my images of the sail away party from Norway, and there's this big distraction in the corner, so I'm going to try and get rid of that with the patch tool. So again, I'm going to be working non-destructively, so I'm going to hold the Alt key down, click on the new layer icon, and we'll call it retouch, and I'll click OK. Right, so I'm going to go in as tight as I can and just trace round this distraction, and then go right back to where I started, and then I'll click and drag it out and try and find a suitable place. Let's go over here, see if it'll bring a bit of these clouds with it. I can try that, and that's not bad. Ooh, that isn't bad at all. I'll Control and H just to hide it. Well, okay, I've got a little bit of a line going on here, and it's a bit dark in the corner, but let's see if we can do something with that. So I'll Control and H to bring back on the selection, and Control and D. I've got a little piece still in the corner, so I'll just go around that with the patch tool and bring that out. That was pretty good. So I'll just try, oh no, there's a little bit there. Yep, okay, so we'll go around that and get rid of that. And I'll try, just let's see if we could patch a little bit of this sky. So let's grab a bit of these clouds and see if they will transfer. We'll just drop them into there. I don't think that looks bad actually. Okay, let's have a quick look at before and after. So that's before and that's after. That's before and that's after, just switching that layer on and off. And again, this is non-destructive. It's not hurting the original layer at all. Well, that's it for this video. I do hope you liked it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, or leave a comment under the video, or share it with a friend, or even better, share it with two. Don't forget to check out the More area under the video for the link to any download files or free ebooks. And please click the subscribe button, so when I upload a new video, you are the first one to know. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.